Goodbye, EA Sports. You heard me right. It's the end of an era for me. After playing the game for almost 12, 13 years, I've decided it's the end. NHL 25 early release comes out today, and the game officially comes out a week from now. And I'm tired of playing the game, and frankly, I think you should be too. So let's talk about NHL 25 and why I'm just gonna say goodbye to this series and what the future is for this channel. So if you're new, leave a like, subscribe, and let's get right into it. So it's been a while since I made a video, and if you've been around the channel for, I don't know, the last 2 years or so, you've realized that I make videos pretty inconsistently, and I am sorry for that, but I had no passion or drive to make videos on EA Sports NHL games, and that's sort of where the channel was going. And at first it was fun, you know, I had fun doing the comparison videos. They're really straightforward, and you guys seem to enjoy them. We had some good conversations about sort of where EA is and how little effort they put into some of it. Sometimes they did well. Let's give EA some credit. They did all right in some aspects, but overall, the EA Sports franchise is pretty much in the dumpster at this point. And for me, I value my time more than ever. And you know, when you're younger, you know, you spend $80 or whatever on a game, you're like, that's fine, you know, like whatever. But as you get older, things change and priorities change, and the fact of the matter is that I don't want to spend $89 Canadian on a video game that frankly doesn't look any different. Now, because there's footage out there these days, and the, you know, early releases and all the people who have earlier access are posting videos, and honestly, the game, I really don't see a difference, and I'm really trying to see a difference. The new skating mechanic doesn't seem to be implemented very much for the AI, which is a huge thing. I thought the AI would be a little bit more dynamic in the way that they move, but it looks exactly the same, and I'm having a hard time convincing myself to actually try the game. You know, a part of me really does want to see what this game actually has to offer, but I don't have the time to waste on a game like this and hope that it actually makes a difference, or it has changed for that matter. And B, I don't think I should do that to myself. As a longtime runner of NHL games and playing the game since 2008, I just don't feel like it should be me doing all the work, convincing myself to actually play the game. And EA should do something where where EA does something where they convince me to play the game, if that makes sense to you. Here's the thing, EA Sports games are in limbo right now. They're trying to fight between two different generations of players. Myself, who have played the game for so long, and they know the early games, and they know what it's like to play a good EA game. Okay, jokes aside, there's nostalgia for the group that I'm in, and then there's the newer group who is starting to play NHL games for the first time. You know, the people who were my age back then, and you know, just wanting to try something new. So they're trying to fight between these two teams, or these two generations of players, and it's not working. They're not doing a good job trying to either, you know, fully commit to one side, but also trying to, you know, help out the other side. Because let's be honest, the only people who want franchise GM connected is because they're from my generation of players, because we knew what it was like, we miss it, we want it back. But they're not going to shove that into a game and make that the selling point, because they know that the younger generation does not care for that, and they would rather work on things like cutscenes and battle passes or whatever, and would rather do that because that makes more sense to the younger generation. You know, because when we grew up playing the game, it wasn't battle passes and microtransactions left and right. You know, okay, there were packs and things like that you could open. I do remember opening quite a few for NHL 16, I think it was, but like, I just don't see how that works for both generations. And so, you know, it's just a different world out there, and I think that's what a lot of the fan base who are on my side of the spectrum are having a hard time understanding. They don't really see that we are getting older and our priorities are changing, and EA Sports games aren't going to change with us. So we have to decide, A, we accept the new versions of the game, which are not very good, and B, move on from the game if that's the matter. Even if you like this current version of NHL, there are still issues with the game. There are still problems. Let's say you were young and you're 10 years old and you're trying to play NHL and you're getting this as your NHL game. I still have issues with it. I still think there's a huge problem with NHL, regardless of who they're trying to make the game for. So all these things are just sort of the reason why I've decided to completely stop playing the game. So what does this mean for the channel? Because I love, hockey, and I want to continue to talk about it, but I need to move on from EA Sports. And what does that mean for this channel? If you've been around for a while, and thank you if you have, this channel originally started with NHL content and with just sort of talking about controversial topics. So if you scroll all the way down, you can see all these videos that are just like, should this player be suspended? Should this player be suspended? What was this play? Stuff like that. And it got a genuine good reception. I think people enjoyed having somebody sort of give an opinion on it and then watch the play. Obviously, that wouldn't really work these days, and didn't really work back then either. The copyright strike was like immediately. It's not fun. It's not a good way to build the channel, fighting between copyright strikes and possibly losing the channel. So we're going to go with a different approach when we return with hockey content. Now, what kind of content should I do? Now, I'm kind of stuck between doing things that are happening currently in the NHL and just sort of going back in time and talking about things that have happened, and just sort of, talking about the crazy, ways that certain plays changed the landscape of hockey and stuff like that. There are some really great channels that I saw out there these days that are doing a phenomenal job covering both of those sides of the topic. So I want to try to find my way to, talk specifically about maybe a particular team or something like that. My hometown is Montreal Canadiens, so if you are a Habs fan, you're welcome to give me some ideas and things like that. But overall, I just want to move on from EA NHL. I'm done with the franchise. So thank you to those who watched all the comparison videos. They're still going to be up on the channel. I'm not going to go anywhere with those, but we're saying goodbye to those, and we're moving on to a new era of Puck Luck, and hopefully I can continue to upload. No promises, though. I am a busy man. No, I'm not. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys soon.